Hey, what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I post commentary videos, some lighthearted, some a bit more serious, and if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe and go ahead and check the description box for the links to those videos so you can watch those when you're finished with this one. Today's video is kind of a different video, kind of a spur of the moment type of thing. I was just sitting on my bed when I came across this article by the New York Times about Emma Chamberlain. Now, if you don't know who Emma Chamberlain is, I'm assuming you would because you clicked on this video, but if you don't, she is a very popular YouTuber. She's an 18-year-old girl who lives in Los Angeles. She has over 8 million subscribers and she's had her YouTube channel for about 2 years. That's basically all you need to know for now. But I was sitting on my bed and I was reading this New York Times article and it was very, very interesting. There were a lot of things within the article that I didn't agree with, a lot of things that were just really strange, and I just had so many thoughts and opinions that I couldn't get out in a simple tweet or an Instagram story, which, by the way, follow me, link down below, sorry. So I thought, you know what, why not make a video about this and really speak about this and really get your guys' opinion, because I've been wanting to make a video about Emma Chamberlain for ages, and the first video that ever got traction on my channel was this video, which is a video I made almost a year ago, and yeah, I did really well, and it was kind of the video that kickstarted my commentary series on my channel. So I thought, why not come back to it? Before we get into this video, I know Emma has some really crazy fans, some really crazy stan, and I would just like to say, like I say in all my videos, please do not make any assumptions about what I'm going to say. I might surprise you. Please just go ahead and hear me out, listen to what I have to say, and then I would love to hear your opinion in the comments down below, as long as you all keep it respectful. And whether you like the video or dislike it, that is okay, because opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Now that we have that out the way, let me go ahead and give you the briefest backstory ever about my relationship with Emma Chamberlain. Lol, that sounds like yeah, no, okay, that's not what I meant. Basically, I found Emma Chamberlain before she blew up. I know it's annoying to say that, but I have this knack for finding people before they blow up. I cannot even tell you how many celebrities or YouTubers I found before they blown up. But anyway, that's another story for another time. I found Emma Chamberlain when she had just over like 200 or 300,000 subscribers in the end of 2017, and I was obsessed with her. I binged all of her videos. It felt like she was my friend. I loved her so much. And then, you know, she kind of blew up and she changed a little bit, which, you know what, like, that's honestly completely natural. You know, once she's a teenager growing up, to her entire life just flipped upside down. So here is a story all about how my life turned upside down. Sorry, that was... Wow, I really just do have the shortest attention span ever. Anyway, oh god, the lighting is getting really dark. It's kind of a mood though. It's kind of like... It's kind of sultry. Anyway, so yeah, she moved to LA, started collabing with all these famous YouTubers, and then people started accusing her of changing, and basically her whole life just kind of went. So I have been along the journey, I've been along the ride with Miss Emma Chamberlain, following her very closely. Once again, that sounds creepy. You'll get what I mean, okay? Like I said, I'm a massive fan of her because this girl feels like my friend, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, when I found her back in the end of 2017, I was going through a really dark time in my life. I was extremely lonely, I was living alone at the time, and I felt like I had no friends, and watching her videos really honestly distracted me, how depressed I was at the time. So no matter what Emma Chamberlain does to an extent, and no matter how much she changes, I'm always gonna have a soft spot for her because of what she did for me. And she doesn't even know she did that for me, but I'm sure this is how a lot of her fans feel. So I have a lot of respect for Emma. However, I'm not one of those delusional stans who can't criticize or have negative or adverse opinions about their favorite creators, because that's lunacy, love. So yeah, it was really sad to go ahead and watch all of the hate that Emma got as soon as her channel started getting really big. People were making fun of her. I feel like she's a very polarizing person. Whenever I speak to people about it, they either really love her or they really don't like her, and some people really take that to the extreme. I mean, obviously it's the internet and that is what people do, and I'm sure it would have taken her a while to really build up a thick skin, but basically this girl has gone through a lot. Obviously her life is a lot better off than a lot of people. You know, she's white, comes from a middle-class family, from what we can gather. She's very rich now, but you know, that doesn't minimize the pain or the struggles that she would have gone through. So I definitely want to lay that out, that I do respect Emma and I want to look at this from all different angles. So please keep that in mind when I'm reading this article, because I am going to get a little bit nitpicky, but all in good taste. Why am I talking like this. Anyway, I feel like that's enough of this little backstory, and let's just go ahead and hop right on into this article. So it is by the New York Times, and it is called "What If Being a YouTube Celebrity is Actually Back-Breaking Work? Emma Chamberlain dropped out of school and changed the world of online video. It hasn't been easy." By the author Jonah Engel Bromwich. That is a beautiful photo of her. So the tagline is, Emma Chamberlain, 18, has in 2 years amassed 8 million YouTube followers who admire her humor and relatability. What they don't see though is how much work goes into her videos. Now, I do believe that there is a massive difference when it comes to YouTube. Watching YouTube videos as a YouTube creator is very different to watching YouTube videos as just a viewer. I know this because obviously I'm a YouTube creator, and at one point I wasn't, and I know the hours and hours and hours and hours of work that most people put into their videos. So off the bat, I can already see where they're coming from. However, this first line in the article is the one that really just strikes me a lot. It says, Emma Chamberlain, 18, is the funniest person on YouTube. Mr. Jonah Engel Bromwich, that is a really bold statement. I don't think you could call anyone the funniest person on YouTube, because comedy is very subjective, and I'm sure Emma would have cringed reading that because nobody would ever say that about themselves. It kind of details how she got into making videos and stuff like that, but we're not going to go through this because it's a little redundant to my point. Now we're going to go into the editing. So the editing style of Miss Emma Chamberlain is the long controversy that has plagued the YouTube platform for the past 2 years. Now, back in my original Emma Chamberlain video, which if you have not seen that, I'll link it down below. In that video, I speak about how I do not believe that Emma Chamberlain invented that style of editing. Because, in my opinion, originality, for the most part, does not exist. I think she was influenced and inspired by various other YouTubers, combined all these together to create her editing style. I do think her editing style was very distinct, and I do think people were inspired by it. However, there are some people who genuinely, like, straight up copy. Like, you watch their videos and you're like, why is everything the exact same as Emma Chamberlain? I do, however, believe that she popularized this editing technique, because I don't think she invented things like the crop or the Ken Burns or the weird sound effects. I really don't think she invented that. I remember seeing YouTubers do that beforehand. However, I do believe she popularized that hyper overactive, snappy, quick, meme-like editing style. I do believe she popularized that, so I will definitely give her credit where credit is due. However, when her stans were accusing everyone of copying her editing style, it was extremely frustrating. I even remember at the time that Haley Pham made a video about it, which she has recently, well, which she deleted. And in that video, she speaks about how it's really frustrating, how she'd even been making videos before Emma Chamberlain was even on the platform, and it was really frustrating to her that people were accusing her of copying her when she'd been editing like this before. And this was often the case. Anytime a YouTuber is bigger than someone else, people will automatically assume that the smaller YouTuber is copying the bigger YouTuber, which sucks, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, huh? There's a really touching paragraph in here that I like, where it speaks about how Emma says that whenever she's crying, why did I say it like that? Whenever she's crying, she really likes to film it or take a photo of it so she can look back on it and be like, why was I even crying about that? Look, it doesn't matter now. Which I think is kind of touching, because I think it's important to remind yourself whenever you're upset about something that everything is temporary and life moves on and you will eventually get over it. So I think that's kind of a cute, touching paragraph. You know what? I honestly wish Emma was more real. If you've watched one of her, that sounds so bad, just hang in there with me. If you've watched some of her videos from her channel membership, which I don't have her channel membership, but there are people who repost it, you didn't hear this from me. But in those videos, she's a lot more laid back. Well, especially in that one video where she answered assumptions, she's more laid back and chill, and she speaks more. And that's really what I wish her podcast was about, because I feel like Emma is so mysterious and vague in the sense that she never really talks about anything serious. She only ever talks about like surface level things. She has quite a private life when you really think about it, and keeps most of her thoughts to herself. So when she announced that she was having a podcast, I was really hoping that it would be her like uncut, really just no editing, just her talking, speaking about her life, her emotions, deep stuff, like really all that. Like her podcast, I honestly cannot sit through that. Like, I love you to death, Emma, but your podcast, it honestly sounds like a kid's television show, and it hurts my ears. I literally could barely get through an episode. Sorry for that subtle drag, it's just my honest opinion. Basically what I want to say is I really appreciate and like whenever Emma gives us those little nuggets of realness and her uncut. That's what I want, Emma. Give us some more of that. I really hope she does it as she grows up, because she can't always stick with this style of comedy, because this is a very, then again, Jenna Marbles has succeeded, but Jenna Marbles is on a different playing field to the rest of these YouTubers. She is queen. That was quite gay of me. I can say that. I'm half gay. Yeah, I think that she cannot stick with this style of comedy forever. It's a bit too immature and silly for somebody once she reaches her 20s. This is where we get into it more. This is about how Emma Chamberlain dropped out of high school to pursue YouTube and happiness. And that's another thing. I completely respect Emma Chamberlain's grind. Back when I was watching her in the beginning of her YouTube channel, she used to post every single day and then 3 times a week, and it progressively dropped down to once a week / once every 2 weeks. And you can tell how much work she put into her channel, and that's really when you need to grind, is when you are trying to get your channel off the ground. It gets easier as you go on. So I'm not trying to take that away from her at all. However, you need to understand that people who think, oh, I can be the next Emma Chamberlain, it's not that easy, because she has certain privileges that other people don't, aka her parents are super supportive of what she does. Most people's parents would not let them drop out of high school. Most people's parents, some people's parents wouldn't even let them have a YouTube channel. Most people's parents wouldn't let their 17-year-old child move to Los Angeles to grow her career. So she is very privileged. That doesn't discredit all of her hard work, but it is important to acknowledge the privilege that is there. It speaks about how she was miserable in high school. In her sophomore year, she felt empty. She felt like she didn't really get along with the students at her school, and her dad told her that she needed to find something outside of school that made her excited, and that's when Emma decided she wanted to start a YouTube channel, since she'd been wanting to do it for ages. Then, you know, her YouTube channel grew. She loved it. She was passionate about it. It was amazing to her, and school basically was still feeling empty, and she felt like it was holding her back, and she didn't want to be there anymore, and it made her miserable. So her parents let her leave high school to pursue YouTube. Now, it says that her goal is to be funny, keep people watching. It's the comic value of each video is inversely proportional to how little humor she experiences while making it. It speaks about how she says that when she edits her own video, she might only chuckle for 10 seconds at max, which is interesting to me, because I've always been under the belief and always been told that if you can't even sit through your own video or enjoy your own video, how's somebody else supposed to? You know what I mean? Interesting. Speaks about her editing, and her work takes a physical toll on her because she releases 1 video a week. Okay, you know what? Who am I to judge? I'm just gonna move on from that. Okay, this is another part of the article that I had a massive issue with. It says, over these 2 years, Chamberlain invented the way people talk on YouTube now, particularly the way they communicate authentically. Once again, Mr. whatever your name is, you are making a very bold statement that you literally can't possibly back up with facts or evidence. Honey, nobody invented the way that people talk. People can influence people, but no, even before Emma Chamberlain, there were people being authentic on YouTube. There were people making coming out videos, people making videos about their depression, people making self-deprecating humor. That one I can honestly just completely disagree with. I think Jonah was on something when he wrote that line. It says her editing tricks and mannerisms are ubiquitous to, I don't know, that's a big word. There is an entire subgenre of videos that mimic her style, and a host of YouTubers who talk and edit just like her. Okay, that bothers me a little bit. I will admit there are people who are heavily influenced by her, but I just think it's a little harsh to discredit people and their efforts by simply saying that they are just copying her and they're just like her. I think everybody has something to bring something to the table, and everybody is different from one another. Yes, there are people are similar, but I really don't like it when people accuse people of copying someone or accuse people of trying to be like someone, because there are people who are similar. Like, Emma Chamberlain is not the most unique person on this planet. There's 7 billion people in the world, millions on YouTube. There's bound to be people who are like her. So once again, just a very bold statement that is not backed up by any evidence. So this part is also very interesting, because this is kind of the first time we've actually heard Emma Chamberlain speak about the editing and people copying her. This is the first time I've actually ever, and I would have seen it because I keep up to date with her. So this is the first time she's actually spoken about how she feels about this. So this is a quote from Emma, and it says, "It messed with my head a little bit when people started to imitate what I was doing. Although I was flattered, and also the way I film and edit, it's a really fun, and I'm so glad that other people have found inspiration in that and have taken that and done with it what they can. I think that that's great, but at times it can be kind of uninspiring and that no one's fault but my own." Honestly, I'm not Emma, so obviously I don't know. I really don't. I just find it hard to sympathize with her, because when all of this was happening, nobody was accusing her of copying other people. It was always the other way around. Her stands were always there defending people. I'm even certain that this is how Emma Chamberlain rose to fame in some aspects, was people constantly commenting on other people's videos, "You're copying Emma Chamberlain," because then people would be like, who's Emma Chamberlain? Search her up, watch her, subscribe. Like, honestly, that would have helped her grow a lot. I'm pretty sure that might be how I found out about her. I'm not really sure. Like, maybe that would bother her, but like, at the end of the day, people was still associating that style of filming and editing with her and saying that she was the originator of it. So I don't know, that part's a little bit iffy to me. She does also say that she always fed off the fact that she was in uncharted territory and that she liked that. And I will admit that her videos were very different from anybody else's that I watched, but they were similar to some people's. There were other YouTubers who were similar to her. I would say that her and Jenna Marbles was somewhat similar. The YouTuber Enya, they kind of had a similar thing going there. So I kind of get where Emma Chamberlain's coming from. And I will admit that because of her and her popularity and that style of filming and editing, it is extremely oversaturated now. There are a lot of YouTubers who I just can't watch because I'm I'm like, it just reminds me of so-and-so, and I'm just tired of like the constant edits. It's honestly exhausting to watch. So I actually kind of agree with her when it comes to that. And she says that people were calling her unoriginal, which was a huge blow to her head. I honestly really find that difficult to believe because almost everyone was doing it the other way around and accusing people of copying her. So that's an interesting statement for her to make. And it speaks about how her parents have supported her unconventional choices, like, you know, dropping out of school and moving to LA and all that type of stuff. But they also worry that she works too hard and they just want her to be healthy and happy, and they really worry about the effects that it has on her mental health because of all the people online who are criticizing her, her appearance, her videos and all that, because, you know, it's no longer just a few people from high school, it's millions of people on the internet criticizing and hating on her. And that is completely, utterly understandable. As a parent, you just want the best for your child, you want them to be happy. And as a parent, you cannot protect your children from everything. And also, Emma Chamberlain chose to be on YouTube. No, she did not choose to be hated on. No, she did not choose to be criticized. But that is what comes with the territory. Everybody knows that. I'm not saying you can't let it go to your mental health, but also you can't be surprised because that is just how it is. And there are certainly other YouTubers that have been way more hated on than Emma Chamberlain. However, I will admit the hate towards her is unnecessary, but you know what, it's YouTube and people will always find anyone to hate. The bigger you get, the more haters you get. That's just how it works. You can look at anybody's videos, the more views it has, the more dislikes for the most case. She also speaks about how it's weird that she left high school to get out of the bullshit, and now that she's here in LA, it's almost worse. And to that I say, honey, what did you expect? Everybody knows that LA is full of fake people and full of social climbers and full of clout chasers and anybody who just wants to climb on a ladder and use you as a stepping stool to get to where they want to be. So that to me is like, honey, like, you live in America. I don't even live there and I know that. So like, what did you expect? She says that viewers tried to enact drama on her. They speculate about who she's dating, which friends she hangs out with. They worry about her, criticize her looks, blah, 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 blah. And to that I say, you're not unique. This does not just happen to you. This happens to every single YouTuber. Whenever YouTubers complain about fans wanting to know about their relationship statuses or their friends or whatever, I'm like, you let them in your life. They're going to be curious about this. That's the way the cookie crumbles, sis. Just take it and leave it, because there's a lot more pros to your career than there are cons. And then it speaks about how much money Miss Emma Chamberlain makes. And it says that she makes about $120,000 to $2 million a year. And that, honey, I think it is way more than that. Look at the views. Look at the, oh my God, her podcast is like, there are so many sponsorships in her podcast. There are so many. There's like usually 4 an episode and they're only 30 minutes long. Every other video is sponsored. She's got the AdSense, she's got the merch. Like, no. Like, sis is making way more money than that, and you cannot tell me any different. This is kind of the part of the article that I really like. She says that for me personally, I just don't have anything to prove anymore. I know exactly who I am. I know that I'm intelligent, and acting dumb or acting like whatever, it's not funny for me because it's false. And it says that Chamberlain has come to a new approach, and she's just not going to stick to one thing so strictly. Her recent videos are less jittery, less edited, and she's trying to let her narrative and scripts speak with fewer interruptions than before. Oh, I like this line. It says the more work she puts into her video, the better the video is, the less she has to edit it to make it more entertaining and better. And I totally agree. I've actually been really enjoying her recent videos because of the less editing. I actually enjoy it more. I'm doing that with my own videos as well. I'm trying to do less editing, put more effort into actually what I say in the video, because at the end of the day, you can't edit real life. And if somebody meets you in person or you speak at some sort of convention and you don't have the editing to make you more entertaining, there was a fly, then you're just gonna be flat boring and everybody's gonna know that you rely on your editing as a crutch. So I actually do admire that she's doing that, and I do appreciate it. And also, you know, spark a new wave, get more original, change it up, don't do the same thing for ages, you know? And she says, I'm starting to realize that editing is very personal and 90% of the editing is just so that I'm not bored, so I don't need to overdo it. I'm trying to find the balance right now so that I don't overwork myself. That is the article. And honestly, I think that is key to Emma Chamberlain. She obviously just over-edits her videos and it's exhausting and it's unnecessary, and I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate it if she was more raw, real, and uncut, because now you no longer need to keep people's attention. Like, people have the attention just because of who you are and your personality, and people care about what you do and what you have to say. So moving forward, I think Emma Chamberlain would really do well and benefit. Be more raw and real and not afraid to change and not feel so stuck in this box of needing to be like so silly and immature and rely on the self-deprecative gross humor and quirky fast editing. I think she can evolve from that, and I definitely think she is, and I've seen the growth and change, and I think change is important, and people who hate on her for changing are just delusional because you change every single second, sis. Alrighty guys, that's basically it. Basically my final thoughts on the article is that obviously it wasn't written by Emma, you know, besides the quotes that she made. I think there's a lot of parts in the video, like I said, that are just really over the top, no evidence, and kind of ridiculous. But honestly, this article was really interesting. It gave me a bigger insight into Emma Chamberlain and made me more fascinated with her. However, it still leaves me wanting more, still leaves me wanting to know more. She's so mysterious to me, and I really appreciate her and respect her. She is a special kind of YouTuber, and I do think that she has created a wave. However, we also have to acknowledge that she is not this like mystical goddess that creates everything and is the best at everything, is the funniest at everything. She's just a girl making YouTube videos, and that's what we all fell in love with. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below what you thought of it. And definitely subscribe if you're new. Make sure you hit that notifications bell so that you never miss another upload. And if you'd like to go ahead and follow me on my social medias, I have Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat just linked down below so you can keep up to date with me, chat with me, and see all the stupid shit that I get up to. Yeah guys, that's it for me in this video. Make sure you check out my other ones, links in the description. And I do hope that you have a great day or night wherever you're on the world. Bye!